to gallivant around on the sand and in the water.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, some naughty behavior.
Oh, that really. I was
some naughty behavior on the weekend this weekend.
That was hard for me to take, you lot.
Yeah.
Didn't go to Newport Beach.
Oh, see, that's the time lag. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, Kai's. Kai's.
Happy
you're
Monday.
The best. You were here before me.
Yeah.
Keith, Dave, hello. We're good.
Yeah.
Hugh, hi. And Andrea.
Flavia.
Joan, Flavia.
Will you tell us?
Oh,
Happy
several
Monday.
other people are here. 17, many people are here. Hi,
Yes.
Jake. Hello. Hi,
Okay.
Jake. I'm reading. Hi, Jake.
Yeah.
I'm Jake.
Yeah.
Hello,
yeah.
Bill.
Yeah. It's so he so easily forgets that he is Jake. That's why he had to call it Jake this.
It's very...
To, emphatically know that it's him. It's you. It's you.
It
Come
is
on.
me. It is me.
And I'm pretty aware. I know who I am. But yeah, I mean, I sort of enjoyed my weekend, except that I found it really irksome that 40,000. I mean, I know they were allowed to. The beaches are open in Orange County and Ventura County, and maybe if I'd known ahead of time, I just would have been like, I'm going down. I'm going to get on the beach too, and But yeah, that. And then you know what I did, which was not smart, was I really.
What?
I know, it's amazing to think that I did something that wasn't smart.
Yeah, I can't believe
I know
that's
you're a
not
little.
like you.
I know
That's
you're a
not
little
like
like,
you.
yeah. It's meshing with your dominant social paradigm.
When did you do a not smart thing? I thought I've been watching you this whole time.
I know. I've been trying to really maintain my smart, be smart at all times. Be smart at all times. So no, what happened was I read too much of the Sunday Times, and
big mistake.
it was such a mistake. Are you going somewhere?
I'm just going to slip up and change the lighting. I've got a lighting idea, and I want to see if this does if that's helpful. Is that helpful?
Oh yeah, turn it off again and let me have a look.
Is that helpful? No.
Turn it on. It's a little. Well, I don't know. You tell us. Oh no, not bright in our faces.
Yeah, no, that's no good. Okay.
Well,
all right, maybe not.
Well,
all right.
maybe it's. I don't know.
I don't know.
It is
I don't know
dark.
either. I don't know
you
either.
could, if you went back in time, you could see. I'll show you.
Oh,
and
if
you
I
can see
went
if you
back
like
in
it.
time.
Yeah, can you time travel back to the other you? I'm
If
going
we
to give
had
you
a producer, we'd be able to do this.
You ready?
That way. Yeah, that's all right. It's a bit.
It's a bit bright.
It's a bit bright.
It's
It
just-
seems bright to me, but it
Yeah.
looks okay on the screen. Okay, leave that on.
All
That
right.
seems all right. We'll do
Yeah.
that for today.
Yeah, we're going to really
see how we like
shake
that.
it up. I mean,
Yeah.
we like to live on the edge, man. Give ourselves some lighting. We don't want to be in the dark man cave
Oh,
forever.
Francis, you got to go Zoom. I get it. Well, we'll be
yeah.
here when you get back.
Yeah,
These
we
things
aren't going
get saved
anywhere.
on the internet. You can watch things. Pretend you're watching it live later. I won't know the difference. I mean, I might. I can't believe I look forward to this every day. I can't believe you look forward to this every day either. But I look forward to this every day, and I can't believe that.
Just trying to work out where to hold on to his wheelchair, because we're not on a bench. He's sitting on the wheelchair, and I'm on the saddle cushion on the chair that used to be. Was this your grandparents' chair? This
That was
beauty?
my grandmother's chair, my grandfather's chair. That recliner went to the big.
And it's anyway. So I have to sit. I'm on a cushion saddle. So I'm not riding side saddle. I'm riding conventionally. I never rode side saddle.
You were a horsey person.
Yeah. I had
Horsey
ponies.
lady.
I had ponies growing up.
Laura
yeah.
says she finished a jigsaw puzzle and did laundry this weekend in Georgia.
Oh wow! In Georgia,
How
did
about
you get your hair cut? Did you get nails done? Have you got a new tattoo to show us, Laura?
Yeah, I hope you got a tattoo.
Did you do all of that on Friday when you
got a
were
tattoo.
allowed? We're allowed to go to the beach if we sneak out to someone else's county. That's what we're allowed to do. But yeah. Oh, the preparation is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, Kais can be a little sarcastic. That's one thing I've noticed about you. That's why I think he and his wife watch from different rooms.
Oh, yeah, because someone likes to, do it sarcastically. Well, I can relate to that. I mean, they say sarcasm is the lowest form of wit, and I say bullshit to that. I love me some sarcasm. I'm
they
totally
say
into
a lot
it.
of things. So
Yeah, they do.
I'm still in New Orleans. I'm wearing my Snake and Jake's Christmas Club Lounge T-shirt. Snake and Jake's is a bar that a guy started in his parents' garage. Oh, it's so great. It's still there. You can look it up. Now everybody knows about it, but it's still in the guy's garage. So it's worth a visit when you're allowed to visit places.
Should I tell them about my T-shirt? Oh, sorry, I was interrupting. You weren't quite done.
Yeah, I wasn't quite done. I'm still in New Orleans.
Yeah.
you
I'm
are.
still in
New Orleans, technically.
Oh, I know
I wouldn't
you
have
are.
come home until Wednesday, but this weekend, this is going to be the first year I've done 2 weekends of Jazz Fest because it starts again on Thursday.
Right.
Through this weekend.
And just so you know, it was pretty good. You know, he would put, you know, take one earbud out and talk to me a little bit. But I had to talk directly to him, to his face, so that he could hear me if I turned around and, you know, try to wash a dish. That didn't work. So I had to be direct, clear, which I find is the best form of communication in a marriage anyway, direct and clear, and don't psychically assume that the other person knows what you're thinking and that they're down with your plan. They're not. You have to clearly look at them, make sure they're looking at you, and make sure they hear you, and then it's often good to get them to repeat it back to you so you really know they're
Could you paraphrase and ask them to paraphrase?
Yeah.
When you're getting them to read it
Yeah.
back, I think it's important to say, could you paraphrase what I've just told you? Just because I want to make sure you understand.
Yeah, and then if they paraphrase it wrong, you go, and then you do it again.
that's not so nice. I
Yeah,
think
you don't get a gold star.
If they paraphrase it wrong, you say, I'm willing to give you another try.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to go again. We're going to go again. Places, everybody. We're going to go from the top. And do you need to look at your lines one more time before we go again?
Yeah, that's some acting talk. If you're not in show business, it's acting talk. If your wife or your husband is in the middle of something, you don't like the way they're saying it, you just go cut. Just say cut.
Yeah, cut. That's not, as the director, that's not what I wanted.
No, well, that's not so helpful because you can undermine someone's performance
Yeah,
with that. You just go cut, and then you could say, could you try it with a little less anger
Or sarcasm.
or
Just
sarcasm.
a little less sarcasm. Or dial the sarcasm up. I'm loving what you're doing with the sarcasm. I just need me a smidge more of the sarcasm. So if you could dial it up, that would be really perfect.
Hello from Maine. There's someone in Maine watching us, and I'm glad that you've tuned in.
Hello, Maine. Bob Cochran. Hey.
Bob from Maine.
Oh, we're not supposed to say last names? I can
Well, I don't know.
I can never remember
I
what
can't.
I'm allowed to say, what I'm not allowed to
It's
say.
Moose Day. It's
Yeah,
Moose Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, hit me with it. Hit me with some moose facts.
Yeah.
Was that the wrong thing to say?
Hit me with some moose facts. Well, you've never said that to me before. We've been married almost 18 years. And,
Yeah, but we've never had a Moose Monday. I'm well anchored to your chair.
well, moose are very big. They're the biggest of the deer type animals, and I think they're technically part of the deer family. Species is wrong, but
They are.
they're deerish.
They're part of the
And they're vegetarian. Well, they're not completely vegetarians, as I'll explain in a minute. But they eat 73 pounds of food per day in summer, and then winter, it's more like 34 pounds.
That's a lot of eating.
I don't know why they don't round it off to 75 and 35, but they don't.
Well, they're scientists. They like to be precise.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The last name shows up in the comments. You're right. So that's why we can't help but reading them. Mike
Yeah.
Clark from Boston. Is that Mike that I know? Mike, Mike, whose brother's Lenny. Is that you? That's great. I'd love to get back to. I want to get back to Boston. I'd love to get. I'm not begging you, but I do want to go back to Boston. I love it there. So yeah, they have, and moose have that thing that hangs down. They call it the bell. That little flap of kind of skin that hangs down below their necks. I didn't.
And they have those big, funny, fat noses down the end. They've sort of got that, like,
big long
kind of,
noses.
yeah.
Did you know moose are excellent swimmers?
No, I did not know that about the moose. They're swimmers.
Yeah, they're very good swimmers.
Mm-hmm.
They feed off the bottom of swampy kind of pondy places, and so they have the ability to close their nostrils. So they close their nostrils while they're eating off the bottom.
Huh. Oh, I wish I could do that. Close my nostrils.
Do you?
That would be.
And why is that? When would you take advantage of that?
Or when I'm in the ocean and I
Oh.
you know, I'm doing a face plant or something into the water and I could close my nostrils so that I don't. I mean, the rinsing is quite good, but the ocean water isn't as clean as it used to be.
It is a sinus cleanse when you go
Yeah.
washing machine in the ocean.
Yeah.
And that was Mike Clark. How about that? And he wants to get me back. I want to. Okay, let's get each other back.
Oh, so if you live in Anchorage, if you're in Alaska, you can have moose in your yard quite often. Now, are they scary at all?
Well, she can't.
Yeah, she's
take
not
her
gonna-
a while to
she-
answer you back, but
You tell me.
I can tell you.
Are moose scary?
Well, moose are not normally a threat. When they start stamping their feet, that's their signal that they're getting a little agitated. And you need to
Like me.
back up. There are videos on the internet of moose stomping the crap out of people who have got too close to them. Yeah. And they say that while their antlers, they use their antlers or their rack or their, what do they call it, paddles, to fight. The male moose will fight. Only the males get the big antler rack paddle.
I think you males can have it. I think I'd be fine if I was a moose.
It can weigh like 40 pounds or more. It's a lot to carry around.
Yeah, to have that, dew on your head.
And oh god, my nose is a little runny. And they, as usual,
yeah,
they regrow that antler thing every year. They shed it.
They leave it behind so that the next person.
And in spring it grows back out. So in the spring when it's growing out from the nubs, as they get older, the racks get more impressive. And then when they get really old, moose live to be 15 to 25 years old. And as the moose,
that's not very old. I mean, I suppose they're a huge animal, but when you think about that you're eating 74 pounds of food a day, you're absolutely enormous. All that. Energy goes into growing this enormous animal, and then you only live for 15 to 20 years. I mean, horses can live till they're 40, 35 to 40 years old. That just, maybe they're so big that they're using up all their genetic...
It didn't really get deep into why they live a certain way. But your mileage may vary. Obviously, 15 to 25 is a big range, and certainly there's probably are moose that live to be
get 30, super old,
the really moose geezers.
Yeah, like my grandma geezer.
But they, as they get older, their racks get more, or their paddles get more kind of deformed and funky looking.
So you're saying they lose the whole thing and grow a whole new one every year?
Yes, and as it comes out, it's covered with this reddish brown. It looks reddish brown fur, but it's actually vascular. It's got blood circulating through it. And it's a bone, but it's covered with like a fleshy thing that facilitates it growing out. And then in the late summer, fall, that fleshy layer comes off, and then it's all just the bony antler stuff that
I wonder if vampires like moose, because it's sort of, they can suck on the end of a horn, the antler paddle thing, and it's got some blood in it.
Yeah. Kai says he lived in Minnesota for a while. Stay away from the moose. Yeah, that'd be my advice too. They're super big, and they're not scared of you.
Yeah, and also, let moose be moose, Yeah. What about that? Wild animals, let them do their thing without us interfering with them.
So there was a picture of a moose as in the fall, as that vascular fuzzy layer comes off, and it looked like he'd been fighting and he had bloody gore on his antlers, but in actuality it peeled away from the tip, and so the flappy vascular
bloody
fuzz was coming off.
Ugh,
it was pretty spooky.
Yeah, that sounds kind of a little bit gruesome, but yes.
Yeah, Rita didn't know they regrew the antlers. I didn't either until I read this stuff.
Eating it. Vampire bats.
Vampire bats?
Yeah, it could come in for a bit of that.
A lot of people are saying that this Varinus could have potentially been caused by the
the bat has getting a bit of a bad rap right now because of the Varinus but all the animals,
I would say, if you've got the choice to get close to a bat or a moose, and I guess this depends on how close, but I would say what's hard to say, because the bat's probably less dangerous close up, but bats, they give me the heebie-jeebies.
So when I was a kid, we lived in Singapore, and we used to go on holidays to Malaysia, and I remember staying with this family once. We were in Kuala Lumpur, and when the bats came over at night, all the kids would all go outside and throw our shoes up into the air for the bats to attack. We thought that was super fun, because the bats see that shoe, and then they're like, foreign, not a bat, and they all get in and go for it, and we thought that was really fun. And that's probably me as a person interfering with a natural animal.
I like the analysis of the bat brain. The bat brain is just making it's binary. It's like bat, not a bat. And if it's a bat, what do? You mate with it.
Yeah.
And if it's not a bat,
you attack it. Yeah. Oh, this thing was flying up at them at speed, but we thought that was pretty hilarious as a I mean, we didn't. We learnt the game from the locals. We didn't know that coming in.
Yeah.
We were just a couple of kids from New Zealand. We don't have bats in New Zealand. We don't have mammals. We had to bring everything in. We have lovely birds. We've got some really good birds there.
So yeah, moose are dangerous. Wolf or bear, don't generally attack them single-handedly, because a moose could take care of a wolf or a bear. But in a pack, of wolves could bring down a moose. And also, the article said that moose can die from a bear bite. The bear or the wolf will bite them, and it may take them as long as a couple weeks to bleed out. Yeah.
Ugh. And the wolf that follows them around and waits because
Well, I don't know
that's
if the
dinner.
wolf-
It's dinner, like dying
wolves-
over there. I've got to wait for it to.
Wolf like a fresh dead thing, and bear's more like a sort of a rotten. I mean, I think they'll start eating you ass first, but then once they know you're dead, they'll kind of bury you and come back later. They like that. So moose are nearsighted. They don't really need to see that well because the bottom part of their face is underwater with their nostrils closed, eating the mossy goop off the bottom
But
of it.
don't they eat things out of trees as well?
Well, they might, but mostly they feed off the bottom of ponds. And one of their nemesis. One of their nemesises are these parasites.
Didn't do
There's
that,
always
darling.
something terrible that happens. Oh, looks like we're back now. I think we're back. Is this us back? Yeah.
We're not moving though.
No, it doesn't look like we are moving.
Right, but we're up there, and that's happening.
Well, this says we're on, but this says we're not. So now I'm trying to get a sense of if we are or not. So
right, I can't help
I
you.
can talk to you. This says that we're on, but I'm trying to make sure that we're on by going to the Facebook live feed. Oh, it's all very complicated, isn't it? It looks like here we are. I think this.
Yeah,
is
that's the. Yeah, that's yeah.
Is this us? Mm-hmm. So
Right, I can't help.
I can talk to you. This says. Yeah. Okay, we are back on. Okay. Hello again.
Right.
Sorry about that. The battery went dead on the thing because evidently I'd forgotten to plug it in.
Also.
No, it was my fault. This is not. I mean, I'd love to blame the glitch in the Matrix, as someone had suggested.
Oh,
but,
I was totally blaming the Matrix. I was not blaming you at all.
Yeah. Well, we're back. Yeah, we're on. We're on. We're
Okay.
on. We're back. Thank you for joining.
Where were we with
Sorry.
the moose? We were talking
Well,
about the.
This is so disappointing because obviously we've lost audience, but this is what happens when you go to dead air. People got better
Yeah.
shizzy to dizzy.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, come on, man. 1 minute, out.
So, guys, yeah, preparation. You're right. I did eat
Yeah.
a good lunch, though. So, the nemesi of the moose is this brain
right.
parasite that comes from eating snails. And I don't think they're eating the snails on purpose. These snails are on the bottom of these ponds, and they eat the snails, and the snail have these brain worm parasites that can kill the moose.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
I don't think they only eat in the bottom of ponds. I think they eat out of trees and stuff as well. They're not, because what would they do if they weren't by a pond for a while?
Moose are generally by ponds. They like water.
Right.
They're good. There's good
Yeah.
swimmers. I did mention that.
Yeah. Well, I believe most of what you tell me, but I don't think that moose only eat out of the bottom of ponds. That's
Yeah.
just, I'm just having a bit of a, I think
Yeah.
that they do some tree work as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
we'll have to look that up
Yeah.
later.
Yeah, let's-
I'll get back to you tomorrow with the
Yeah, we'll have the up,
moose
yeah.
eating out of trees. But,
Yeah.
So they grow new antlers every year. They usually use them to fight when they're going to mate. The female moose don't grow antlers. Antlers can weigh up to
Not for mating, they don't grow
40
them for anything.
pounds. Oh, ticks are killing moose up in Maine. The ticks.
Oh, that's right.
They're getting all these ticks, and they can make the moose anemic. There's
Oh,
so
yeah, they're
many
sucking
ticks.
so much of their blood. Yeah.
And the ticks will get on a branch of a tree and kind of daisy chain themselves down, and then a moose will come and brush, and they'll all let go and fall onto the moose. And there's anemic moose walking around from having their blood
Bloody
sucked.
ticks. They're awful.
They're terrible. If
Do you
they're not
remember-
giving you.
Do you remember that terrible horse riding incident you had when we were in Costa Rica?
Yes. It was terrible for me.
Yeah, for you. Luckily I didn't see it because I'm being a horse person. God, if I'd seen you on a bolting stallion, I would have been losing my mind. But the horses had so many ticks on them. I remember, their ears were full of them and their manes, and I was like,
I
hadn't
noticed that.
you were too busy trying to stay alive.
Scott checking in. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, he says that some of those water snails aren't great for us either. And I would say, I only eat snails at a Frenchy kind of restaurant.
Yeah,
I wouldn't eat if you came home with a pail full of snails or whatever, you'd collect the snails in a sack.
And said, here, I'm going to cook these up with
caps,
some
you've
butter
taken
and
off
a
your-
lot of garlic, and you're going to eat. I'm going to make you eat them. Lovely, rubbery, garlicky French treat.
I might be tempted, but I think I would say, look, let's do some Googling. Let's do some Googling because
let's Google that shit before we eat that shit.
a lot of people got burned on that let's drink some bleach idea.
No, it was the people who drank the hydrochloroquine that was in their fish tank cleaner. Hopefully the rest of America learnt their lesson from that because the guy did die.
I hope so. Well, we've got a good crowd in here now.
Yeah.
Moose will often have twins, sometimes triplets.
Oh, my God.
And they can trot up to 30 miles an hour. So if you piss them off, they're going to run you down and stomp the crap out of you. It's their hooves. That's what
they're big. Those are some big hooves.
They're big. They know how to swim when they're born. Like you could throw a newborn moose into the water and it would be able to swim. And they can move each eye independently. Moose can. I can't believe I didn't know if they eat off trees, but I do know that they can move each eye independently.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got some good...
I mean, guys, I get it. You don't think I prepare, but this thing I wrote down. I looked all that stuff up. That's why I forgot to charge up the camera thing because I was busy looking moose.
He was busy prepping, and I don't mean prepping in that weird conspiracy theory. Except now the preppers aren't just the weird conspiracy theory people. They're the Silicon Valley preppers.
I'm not sure the preppers know what they're doing, but this Kai is the gift that keeps on giving, man. He says, I used to trap when I was a kid. I put a beaver in the freezer one time, and his mom freaked out. Kind of freaked out. My mom, if I'd have put a beaver in the freezer, I bet my mom would have freaked out too.
So I had a job once, and I lived in a place called Bunnythorpe, because we've got a place in New Zealand called Bunnythorpe. So I was working at the... what was that theatre called in Palmerston North? And if you've ever been to Palmerston North in New Zealand, anyway, I lived in Bunnythorpe in the country, and with my friend Adrian, and we had a roommate. Bunnythorpe, yeah, and we had a roommate whose name was Phil, and he was an artist who always wore black and a black beret and drank wine, and he did very beautiful paintings. But he also liked to go out and hunt, and so our fridge would be full of dead rabbits, and they wouldn't be skinned, and it was disgusting. So. And you go into the fridge to get your milk for your Earl Grey tea, and there's some dead rabbits in there.
Well, now though at Varinus time, when you talk about these Silicon Valley survivalists, I mean, what
they need to be eating rabbits.
Well, they're hoping that they open the fridge and it's full of dead rabbits.
Yeah, no, they're all getting bows and arrows and learning how to do that, and then they've got their their mega earthquake kits, and some of them have got their bunkers, their subterranean bunkers in New Zealand, which we discussed last week, that New Zealand is just gobsmacked by,
I don't think I'm going to become a prepper. I am learning.
Well, you used to be getting ready for a prepper when you were going to be, killing squirrels and
I did have the idea that maybe it was a good idea to learn how to skin an animal and clean it just in case we have to do that someday. And I don't think that's a bad idea. But I'm not trapping squirrels or filling. What you really want to worry about is if you open the fridge and there's a bunch of live rabbits in there. That's when something's really going
my
wrong.
God!
What the hell? How did these guys get in there?
Is Fanula doing some kind of weird scientific experiment that she didn't, run by us first? Was there not some clear communication about this? Did we not paraphrase back?
If there's live rabbits in the fridge, you got to put a note on there
saying, "Get out of our fridge!
Don't open the fridge. It's full of live rabbits."
Yeah,
you got to. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want live rabbits in the fridge. We have a pet bunny, and we like her, so.
Yeah, we're not going to eat her.
God, no. We're definitely not eating her.
This is the thing about eating animals that I've learned during some of my not prepper research. But if you're thinking about eating. If you're thinking about getting into your own killing and butchering, mostly you want to be eating younger animals. You want lamb as
opposed to mutton.
Mutton, the old animals
the old
aren't
sheep.
as delicious, and that's why when it goes cannibal time, we're in much less danger than our daughter. A lot of people would maybe want to eat a nice young person.
Over your dead body.
Over my dead body, yeah.
Yeah, and mine. I once Jake had succumbed, once he'd tried to save her and he'd been killed, I would move in there next and
I'm going to be so dead. Way before it's cannibal time, I'm going to be out. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that's not going to be pretty. So,
Bill is asking if you saw that New Zealand is claiming that they have almost zero Varinus cases.
Well, New Zealand has been pretty unbelievable. So we've had 18 deaths. And for the longest time, there was one death. Like when I was looking at the deaths by country, New Zealand had one death for weeks and weeks and weeks. And most of them have been, elderly people. the thing that was really wild, I was talking to a friend of mine who's a doctor, and she said there had been 14 hospitalizations. Now, this was 3 weeks ago. Only 4 ended up in intensive care. But New Zealand so shut down the borders. I mean, my niece who was in Denmark had to fly home because they said, look, if you don't come home, who knows when you can come home. So we're letting you come home now. And she had initially said, no, I'm going to stay and finish my, master's degree in Copenhagen. Thank you. And she flew in to New Zealand. They put her up at a hotel in Auckland at the airport, where she had to be in quarantine on her own for 14 days. The New Zealand government paid for you to be in a hotel.
They paid for you to be in a hotel? I doubt they would do that.
Yeah,
You've got to pay for your own hotel.
No. They put you up, so they put her up. They're getting 85% of their wages while they're at home. I mean, excuse
me.
me.
New Zealand is... I wish we were getting 85% of our wages.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out, do I need to sign up for Venmo? Because... Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you. Are you finished with your story?
Well, no, then she flew from Auckland. She can't even fly into Queenstown, which is one of the tourist meccas in New Zealand, because there are no flights going in there right now. So, Queenstown is devoid of its, number one industry. But she had to fly to Christchurch, and her dad went there to pick her up to then drive her the 4 hours or 5 hours back to Queenstown, because they're really in your bubble.
Good story.
It started out good,
and then it just... Well, it was interesting at the beginning to me about the quarantine, but then where she had to fly into and then be driven from there, that was what I was like,
if you haven't been to New Zealand... no, sorry, guys.
She couldn't fly all the way into St. Louis. She had to fly.
I went off-roading. I told the whole story. Then, someone will have liked that story.
No,
I mean, come on. I mean, someone will have liked it.
To be honest, I like it. I've been to... I was guessing it was Christchurch. While she was telling the story, I was like, if Queenstown's closed, where do they let you fly into? I bet it's Christchurch, because I knew it wasn't Oamaru or Timaru.
Or Dunedin. Could have been Dunedin.
It could have been Dunedin.
So, but they're doing really well with Varinus there, and they just went this week into lockdown level 3. They were in 4, which was super tight, small bubbles, only the people you lived in a house with. And now your bubble, you're allowed to put one more person in your bubble. But it's,
who will it be?
Yeah, choose carefully, choose wisely. If you choose the wrong person,
this is like a reality
stuck with that asshole.
When we get back, Belinda's going to have to decide who to add to their bubble.
Yeah, who?
As you know, Jake lost the bubble decision privileges in last week's episode when he was not able to find the last piece of the puzzle. And it turned out that even though Belinda had hidden it in her pants,
he still couldn't find it. What is wrong with him?
She was the
that's
winner.
pathetic.
Well, I have to ask.
The number one place you would look.
I have to ask to look in your pants, and you said no.
That is bullshit. I did not say no. So, so the recommended person to go in your bubble is like a family member, so a sibling or a grandparent.
But what if they're already in another bubble and they're like, well, I'd love to join your bubble, but if someone said to me, Jake, we'd like to invite you into our bubble, I would say, well, I have to be able to bring Belinda and Fanula.
Yeah, we're part of your bubble. Okay, so the perfect person for that is I have a grandmother who's 101 years old, and she needs to be in the bubble with my mum and my stepfather because she's all on her own. I mean, she does. So the other day, my mum goes down to the place where she lives, and there are 2 of the old ducks who live where she lives have walked over to have
duck is a person.
A lovely old lady is a duck. So they've come over to have tea with her, and they're sitting, 2 meters, 6 feet. Metric illiterate people. They're sitting 2 meters, and I say that with love, 2 meters away from her, and then having tea. Then my mum arrives, and my gran is like, "Oh, thank God you got here." I was so bored. So the 2 old ducks weren't the most interesting ducks that she could have been having her tea with. And so I called my grandmother the other day, and we're having a little chat, and I ask her how things are going, and she instantly wants to tell me about the leader of the opposition, Simon Bridges, and she said, I've only got one word for him. He's an a-hole. I was like, Gran, 101, and now she's finally saying a-hole.
I suppose that's one word, but it would be a-hole, so technically it's almost 2 words.
Okay, she got to 101 to say those 2 words. I thought it was pretty cute, but she's not keen on Simon Bridges because he'd come out and criticize Jacinda and her governing, and everybody else is loving Jacinda.
Don't criticize Jacinda.
No, she's our best friend.
We also have a similar rule here in our America. Don't criticize the president.
Yeah, but for different reasons, because he'll get he'll take it out on you.
Makes him cranky. He'll throw a tanty, as they say. Tanty.
Yeah, he'll throw a tanty. He won't be able to handle it. Is thin. His skin is so thin.
I don't want to get political. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
Jacinda, though.
Is
Great.
the bubble like the cone of silence from Get Smart? Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No.
It's like a tent. It's like a camping tent that only you're allowed to be in. I'm not sure. In the family room, kitchen, bedroom, that's applied.
Yeah, to Bill. Yeah, that
I
doesn't
can't- I
concern
can't
us.
follow
Whatever
all the
you guys
things.
are doing with each other, that's
it's-
your
Anyway,
yeah.
this is our first 2-part episode. How do you feel?
Oh. I thought, is it 2 parts because we're talking about the moose tomorrow? No, because we had a technical
Yeah,
glitch.
had a
We ran out of
technical
power.
glitch. We'll see how that affects our ratings.
You know, yeah, right. Nail biter.
Oh, that's what I was saying the other day. I was saying I've been looking into, I was saying it just earlier today. I've been looking into, do I need to get, I'd resisted Venmo and the Cash App because I thought, they're going to rip me off, or I'm going to make a mistake and accidentally lose our life savings. But then I was watching Kermit Ruffins on Facebook Live from his place. Would you, if you look up Kermit Ruffin's Mother-in-Law Lounge, you can see he's doing live shows with his band. A little bit naughty. He's got them all in the bubble with him, and they're doing live shows from the Mother-in-Law Lounge, and they're advertising his Cash App and his Venmo, so you can donate to him as he's doing the live show.
Is he giving it to charity, or he needs he needs the dough?
He lives.
Right, he's a musician. He's
He's
getting
a musician,
Yeah.
right? And he's got like 4 ex-wives and how many kids? I
Right.
think Kermit is, and he's paying the other musicians plus
Right.
taking care of God knows.
He's got a
what.
big nut.
No, I don't think he's giving it. He's
Right.
got his own. He's got his own umbrella of people in his bubble that he's trying to take care of.
Oh, right, yeah. 'Cause
As with us.
you do want to take care of the people in your bubble.
As was I. I'm not thinking about getting a Venmo because I'm going to donate to charity. I'm thinking about getting a Venmo and a Cash App because I don't know if you've noticed this. Our income is going. We're at 0 right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've noticed.
Yeah.
There are a few things I've noticed, and that is one of them. So Michael really liked the story until we got to between Queenstown and Christchurch.
Yeah,
But,
that's
you know,
where she lost me too, Michael.
But I tell you, Michael, between Queenstown and Christchurch, that is some beautiful scenery. So if you do ever get a chance to
It is
try
a
to
pretty
go
drive.
to,
Well,
it's yeah.
You were complaining about how tough she had it, but that is a very pretty drive.
Yeah, yeah, it's beautiful.
So
You're going through the middle of the South Island.
I meant to. Hey, Flavia, sorry we lost the other feed, and now you're back, and we're just wrapping up. But what are we going to talk about tomorrow? Have we had some top? I'm going to have to go. I meant to go through all these comments for the past few days and see if there's any stuff. But today we had the moose. I've got a topic tomorrow. I've got something tomorrow.
He's
planned for
He's
tomorrow.
prepped for tomorrow.
And,
He is a prepper. I'm a non-prepper. He's the prepper.
Tick Tuesday.
And then-
I'm gonna look up some
ticks.
ticks.
I don't know that I could stomach ticks
we'll see.
for a whole,
We'll see.
half-hour show.
I'm itchy right
Yeah,
now.
no, because you were talking about
Yeah.
ticks. That's why.
Corey
Yuck.
Henry was live at Vaughn's last night. Yeah, I saw that. I saw some of that. He was a little late getting there.
Yeah, social distancing when you're outside your bubble is everyone's in their own little bubble. But yeah, you can go with the person who you're in the bubble with, and you can be in your bubble and then socially distance with those people over there in their bubble.
Well,
Sexy?
I'd like to get some. Oh God, did you hear that antibody privilege thing that Tessa was saying the other day? Antibody privilege. Like if you have the antibodies, then you can go out and be around people because you're not a threat to them and you're not in danger yourself. And so you got antibody privilege. I was like, oh my God, who invented that? I don't blame you if you want to punch me in the face for saying antibody privilege because I was just like, oh come on,
Right.
Oh come on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, that's it.
That's it for today. I'm going to remind you again, don't give up. There'll be plenty of time to give up later. I'm also going to say that tonight from New Orleans, WWOZ on their Facebook page is going to be having piano night. And that's going to be famous piano players. Every year they do it on the Monday between Jazz Fest, but it's going to be great piano players. And Marcia Ball's going to be on that. I think Dr. John's probably going to be on there. So great piano performances, WWOZ. I'm just plugging that because it's going to be great.
One more time.
Candy was going to say we're not looking at the comments, but yeah, we are looking at them. Are you kidding me? When you do the kind of prep that we do, you're depending on somebody to say something in the comments to keep the ball rolling. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Happy Monday. We're going to have a great week of lockdown. Don't let the Varinus get you down.
No, don't let it get you down. And onward and upward. And tomorrow, Adama.
Adama?
Adama. It's, yeah.
You went French on me.
Yeah,
How do you say that in
yeah.
Espanol?
En español. Mañana.
Ah,
Mañana, amigos. Yeah,
one.
come on, you knew that. Get your box of cards out. Your, Espanol for, yeah.
Mañana.
Yeah, hasta